Types of killers. Where do these killer labels come from? Many of the terms used to describe killers originate not from formal law or psychology, but from criminological profiling, investigative journalism, or popular culture. Labels such as family annihilator or black widow rarely appear in legal statutes. They are more often coined by detectives, behavioral analysts, or the media to describe patterns of motive and victim selection. Some, however, like Munchausen syndrome by proxy, are recognized in psychiatric and medical literature, though not as legal charges in themselves. Understanding the origin of these labels helps separate sensationalized nicknames from those rooted in science or professional practice. Family annihilator, the destroyer of all motive. The phrase family annihilator is stark and self-explanatory. It describes a perpetrator who murders their own immediate family members, often in one incident. Criminologically, these killers are sometimes categorized into types: self-righteous, blaming the family; anomic, triggered by loss of status; disappointed, seeing the family as failing expectations; or paranoid, believing they are protecting the family from harm. While not a legal term, it is widely used in police profiling and academic studies, with psychological themes of control, despair, and finality. Profit killer, murder as a business transaction. The term profit killer encapsulates murder committed primarily for material gain, inheritance, insurance payouts, property, or other assets. While the name sounds informal, the motive aligns with legal categories like murder for pecuniary gain or contract killing. Psychologically, these offenders tend to display calculated, instrumental aggression rather than emotional rage. They may have traits of psychopathy, with a capacity for detached, planned violence. Revenge killer, justice in their own hands. Revenge killer describes someone who murders as retribution for a perceived wrong. This may target a specific individual or, in cases like mass shootings, an entire group. In criminology, revenge killings overlap with concepts of grievance-fueled violence. In law, motive does not excuse the crime, but it can influence sentencing. Psychologically, resentment, humiliation, and a need to restore perceived balance often dominate their thought process. Sexual predator, the intersection of lust and violence. The term sexual predator is widely recognized in both law and psychology, though its definition varies by jurisdiction. It typically refers to individuals who commit sexually motivated crimes, often serially, with escalating patterns of coercion or violence. Criminological studies note that such offenders may be driven by power, control, sadism, or paraphilic disorders. In the UK, legal frameworks like the Sexual Offences Act provide structured classifications, but predator remains more of a descriptive label than a statutory term. Avenger, the symbolic punishers. The Avenger killer sees themselves as an agent of punishment, targeting those they believe have harmed them or society. This archetype is common in vigilante crime narratives and sometimes emerges in real life, often fueled by moral outrage. While similar to the revenge killer, the Avenger often frames their act as a righteous duty, sometimes leaving manifestos or symbolic messages. Munchausen syndrome by proxy, MSBP, murder through medical deception. Unlike many of the other labels, Munchausen syndrome by proxy, MSBP, is a psychiatric term recognized in medical literature, now more often called factitious disorder imposed on another. Offenders, often a caregiver, deliberately cause or fabricate illness in someone under their care to gain attention or sympathy. In severe cases, the abuse escalates to fatal harm. It is not a legal charge itself but can be used as evidence in murder or child abuse prosecutions. Team killer or accomplice, when murder becomes a partnership. Team killer or accomplice killer refers to murders committed by two or more people working together. This dynamic can involve romantic partners, Bonnie and Clyde archetype, friends, or criminal associates. Criminologically, group killings often involve shared delusions, coercive control, or mutual reinforcement of violent ideas. Legally, accomplice liability means all involved can face the same charges, even if only one committed the fatal act. Thrill killer, murder for the adrenaline rush. The thrill killer murders for excitement, stimulation, or the challenge of getting away with it. Psychologists often link these offenders to psychopathy, sensation-seeking behavior, and a lack of empathy. The killing is not for gain or revenge but purely for the emotional high, making them some of the most unpredictable offenders. Jealous lover, the passion turns deadly. This category covers murders motivated by romantic or sexual jealousy, real or imagined infidelity, rejection, or abandonment. The law sometimes calls these crimes of passion, though that term is falling out of favor as courts move away from seeing jealousy as a mitigating factor. Psychologically, these crimes often occur in emotionally volatile individuals who fear loss of control over a relationship. Black Widow, the poisonous archetype. The term Black Widow draws from the spider species where the female sometimes kills the male after mating. In criminology, it describes women who kill multiple spouses or partners, often for financial gain. The murders are frequently slow and covert, poison being a common method. While sensationalized in media, real-life cases have been documented across history. Maternal or paternal filicide, the cradle curse. Filicide is the correct legal and criminological term for a parent killing their child. Subcategories include neonaticide, killing within 24 hours of birth, and infanticide, under 1-year-old. Motivations range from mental illness to perceived mercy, revenge against a partner, or unwanted responsibility. Unlike family annihilator, filicide is a term used in academic and legal discourse globally. Lady killer or romantic killer, charm as a weapon. The label lady killer or romantic killer is a double-edged phrase. It can mean a man who seduces women, figuratively, killing their hearts, or literally murders women he courts. In forensic psychology, this overlaps with sexual predator behavior but with a more targeted, gender-specific victim profile. The term itself is not scientific, but it persists in crime writing. Angel of death, when the caregiver becomes the killer. An angel of death is typically a medical professional or caregiver who murders patients, often under the guise of relieving suffering. Sometimes the motive is a godlike sense of control over life and death, other times it may be sadism or a desire to be seen as a hero for discovering the victim's sudden decline. Though the term is informal, the pattern is well documented in forensic and criminological research.